So I'm not going to show all of the attempts here. I think it took me like 4 or 5 attempts. But basically, first off, rule number 2, make sure you get a checkpoint that's very close. Kill a couple enemies near the area so you spawn right next to these guys. I actually got lucky. I got a checkpoint like right here inside this room, which is perfect because of the strategy that I was using. So I use this building that's directly to the right of where they are. I thrustered to get over here, okay? And instead of killing the brute chopper first, I actually, because he's the easier one to kill, I actually go for the other guy, which is the harder one to kill. So again, using tip 5, utility spam, just keep spamming that shield wall right here, making sure it's a full fresh one, and then using the Sentinel Beam at a range to hit him. Now, this goes along with all of this, but something that I learned was the closer you are to the shield wall, the easier it is to see where you're shooting, and when you're standing a little further back, as you can see, it kind of makes it hard to see what you're doing. I do eventually start zooming in, I'm pretty sure, too. I'm trying to skip forward. But yeah, this was a strategy that I ended up going with. It's not foolproof. You can still die.
You see what I mean?
Whenever
the wall is clearly down, but
whenever they throw spike grenades at it, they can still kill you. Unfortunately. But yeah, I got a really good checkpoint here. And see how you're standing closer to it, you can kind of see the beam a little bit. Well, it's hitting him, so you can't see it because he's turning red. But basically, the closer... There you go. You can see it perfectly right there. The closer you stand, the easier it is to see the beam hitting the target. See it on the leg, on the head. And he's already dropped. See how quick his shields drop? So I'm actually going to let this one play out because I think this is the one that I win it. But yeah, so my tip for this boss fight is to use the Sentinel Beam, use the shield wall to your advantage, and fuck shit up. And use this room. Use this building. Because if you're lucky, that guy will actually jump over to this platform, and it makes it even easier because then you can just grenade spam him. If you're not lucky, you gotta do it the way I'm doing it right now. I also learned that if you shoot the canister on his back, the jetpack, it actually kills him a little quicker. So see, he jumped over to here. Look how easy this is. He's not even shooting. I fucked up right there. Because I needed the free melee and I shouldn't have done it. We're going to fast forward though, because I don't want to, you know. Look at this. He's already getting real low. The Sentinel Beam's broken. It really is. And this isn't even the upgraded version of it. This is the normal one, I'm pretty sure. Or it might be the upgraded version, let's be honest. Yeah, because it's going through it pretty quick. You do need to be careful if he's just shooting in the same spot like that, because he's going to break the shield quickly. And that's why upgrading the shield wall would be really good. If I didn't upgrade my grapple all the way, my shield wall would be all the way upgraded right now. And this wouldn't have even been a problem. So that's why I'm saying definitely follow along with those tips before you even get started on all this. Make it easier for yourself. Alright, so Hyperion is dead. I do believe I die here. Yep. So I gotta do it again. Alright, so I showed you the first part. Which was me killing the big guy with the laser beam cannon, how easy it is to kill the first brother. And then let me show you how easy it is to kill the second brother. I have not hit this guy at all yet. Alright, and just to make that clear, actually, let's go to where I killed the last brother. Get that free melee off with the shock grenades. I get a little nervous here, so I do retreat back into the room because I just didn't want to die. Boom, he's dead. I'm going to let this play from this point forth. Just so you can see that like he's really easy to kill if you save him for a second. And this is why the Sentinel Beam is so broken. This is why it's my #1 recommended weapon, and then the energy sword right back behind it. The upgraded energy sword. When you get the red energy sword, I would also recommend swapping it in for that one. But you don't get that till the end of the game. So, you know, it is what it is. But As you can see, I'm using the thruster to avoid any unnecessary damage and get to a better position. Using elevations to your advantage, I think it was tip 8. This actually goes bad for me right here, because I try to fight the stupid ghost, and it's not really what I wanted to do. I will tap forward a little bit. Remember, we still need to kill Hyperius. Actually, let's make sure we don't skip anything. So see, I still don't see him. I just want you guys to see that I haven't damaged him. Alright. So this is from 100% HP to 0 HP is what you're about to witness. And this is why the Sentinel Beam is so broken. So first, I stun him. Or I try to stun him, I just fail. Oof. Oh my god. But once I get that stun, and he's disabled, watch this. Oh, I saw the rocket coming, so that was pretty intelligent of me, I guess. You ready? And that's the fight.
Let's go.
Okay, I am going to record a tip-specific part to the Conservatory right here. Alright, so this part can be really freaking challenging if you don't stay in the center. And that's what I ended up learning, is that if you don't stay in the center, they start shooting rockets at you, and it makes it very, very hard, because they all have rocket launchers. So my tip for the Conservatory mission is that this part, the rest of it, you can just follow along with the basic tips, and it'll help you through it. Skip where you can skip, spam grenades, etc. All that good stuff, spam util. Will all apply, be prepared. But in this part, it took me a while to figure this out, but it actually turned out that the safest place that I was in the center of the room. And I'm going to skip to like the end one where I think I just stay at the center, and you'll see how much easier it actually is. You just stay here, they'll all come right to you. It's literally the safest place for you with the sword. They don't use rockets when you're in the center. You see what I mean? I think this is where I make a mistake and I actually come off the platform. Or no, I don't. Okay. Okay, so another Conservatory specific tip is on this part right here. You have these two brute guys, and they're really hard to kill, but you're actually going to see me beat them, I think, in 1 or 2 tries. And it's literally because I'm spamming grenades. I'm just tip 1 all day. And I had the drop wall at this point, and I do start using that as well. Alright, this is the second Sentinel fight, boss fight. I think I do it in like 1 or 2 tries. I don't think this takes me a long time, but it's the same thing. Use the Sentinel Beam. Take out one thing at a time. I'm going to be skipping through some of this because obviously this video is going to be long as shit. One of the tip sections is 8 minutes. I already looked at it. So there's going to be like a 30-minute video. I mean, if you're going for a challenge like this, you should be watching a video that's over 30 minutes. Although, like, you're not going to get a 10-tap video or a tip video that's going to make this stuff easier on you. And again, if you want to watch the entire 12, 13, 14, 15 hours of it, you can go to my Twitch, again, at TTV. I'll have the link in the description below. And you can check out the whole fucking thing if you want. It's titled, I think, Headmaster Achievement, so. See, using that camo to my advantage. Using the shield wall to my advantage. You know, tip 5 coming in handy here. The weapon of choice coming in handy here. Yeah, I think it was like second try I beat this. Oh, you know, a specific tip to this mission, make sure you get the melee off on him. So when he's down like that, take advantage and get your shields refilled. Why not? You know? So that's a fight-specific tip. Got my shields back. Thruster the fuck out. I spend a little bit of time, so tip 7 comes in kind of hard right here. Be patient. And I'm very patient at this part. Once I get him down to his last life, I go around and I kill a couple of the ads just to make sure that I'm in a good position. I think I use the beam or the sensor to find him. Again, shield wall. That guy kind of fucked up my plan, not gonna lie. Using these columns to my advantage. Using the camo or the invis to then get out without being seen. The sensor to see where he is. I think I actually kill him like right here. It's coming up, so I won't fast forward it. There you go. Another example of just skipping by every enemy that you can. This is another tip 3 situation with tip 5, spamming util. I go completely around the map here. I do try to get a melee off here just to make sure that I'm full. Again, I think it was tip 8. Know where your shields are at. Make sure you're always prepared. With tip 6, having full shields. Nothing saying that I have to clear these things, so. And yeah, this is hands down the best strategy that I would have had for this part. So just skip past all of it. Oh, never mind. Grenades behind it. So I throw a sensor. All right, let's show the whole thing. I think that's important. So this would be the whatever this guy's name is. Swordmaster. Watch how quick this thing melts him. Alright, I got a really lucky checkpoint right here too. Down below, which is kind of nice. You're not ordinarily going to get a checkpoint that luckily. See why the shock grenades are so good though at this part? It's the same concept with the chalk lock mission where you're using the sensor and you're spamming the shock grenade so you always know where he is. And if you're lucky, you get a good stun lock. Like there's one time where I beat him because I don't get a checkpoint after this and Eshram kills me and then I gotta come back and fight him like 5 times and it's super frustrating actually. But I think I first tried this actually. I'm pretty sure this is my first attempt. And I beat him on this first attempt. Yeah, I do. I beat him right here. I remember it. Bam, dead.
Yeah, that was like the easiest boss fight.
See what I'm saying? So it was really easy. So that would be my tip for him. And then remember tip 2, make sure you get a checkpoint. And I should have kept that red sword. Keep that red sword. That is my top 2 tier weapons is the Sentinel Beam and that red sword. Alright, I do think I beat Eshram here. And again, all the same tips. Spam grenades, tip 1. Tip 5, spam your utility like the sensor and the thruster to stay away from him. And use the Sentinel Beam, my recommended weapon. So there's the sensor. Throwing them spike grenades. Just keep your distance. I'd say the sensor is probably the most important part of this, so you can just see where he's moving and not go where he is. And the drop wall is kind of useful too. It's how you get your damage off, really. Also use the lightning grenades to get free melees. Or actually, on this specific boss, I wasn't using the lightning grenades. So after you drop his shields, I'll wait and I'll show it right here so you can see it. But the way you get your shields back on Eshram is he takes a little bit of stagger after you break one of the coils. So what I was trying to do was I would then break the coil. This is a bad play, I think, right here. I break this, and then I immediately run to him and get the melee off. And I use the sword, actually, too, so I get good damage. So just boss-specific, make sure you're getting your shields back on Eshram. Make sure you know what utility you're using, because I almost used the wrong... I did use the wrong utility right there, and it almost cost me. So just make sure you know where he is. Remember, you're invisible. He can't actually see you. If you get close enough to him, he can see you. Getting that free melee again. Just making sure my shields are full. And then I fuck him up right here with the spike grenade, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Same stuff. I do get lucky, I'm pretty sure. And when he gets down to the gravity hammer, I just kind of avoid him. Again, I get my free melee. And then I'm out. And I spam the thruster here. I spam the thruster here to stay away from him. Because you do not want to die at a part like this, right? I try to get him with a couple stuns. I quickly realized that if I didn't have the sensor, I wouldn't have known that he was coming right directly to where I was running, and I would have definitely just got caught. I actually think I get caught anyways, to be fair. See what I mean, though? Ultimate thruster. Just keeping that distance. And the Sentinel Beam hitting him with that stagger occasionally. You can thruster backwards, too, so I actually could have been shooting him while I was doing that. Just another little side tip. I shot that, by the way. That's why that happened. If you hit him in the head, he dies a lot quicker. I just couldn't aim. Alright, so right here, I should have used a sensor. I didn't. Because I almost died, actually, to a hammer blast. He starts trying to throw shit at me, and I already had that happen twice, so I was, like, not trying to let that happen. There we go, sensor, so now I know where he's coming from. Just following, you know, tip 1 and tip 5, spamming. There you go, utility grenade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was a mistake. I pick up this hammer, and it was not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not as good as the sword. The sword would have been better for speed, for everything.
Really don't.
Alright, so this is me at the last part.
I haven't even left in the tank. You switched
And
the fucking gravity hammer right there for no reason.
I just want to show...
I don't. I have nothing left in the fucking tank. I'm running out of steam right now because you're literally...
I was raging. I was up all night. I didn't... No sleep. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning at this point because I was up.
You're making it very fucking clear that I have no chance.
I figure I'll show this whole part this time around too. So the strategy that I had in this room is the strategy I would follow for this entire boss fight. Make sure you're taking out the rocket guys, those guys first, the skimmers. Then take out the easy units like the jackals and the grunts. Then focus on the elites and the brutes and save the brute chieftain for the end. Make it a little easier on yourself. You're going to see how good the Sentinel's Beam is right here though too. Like this dude just gets destroyed. And this is why I'm recommending it, essentially, is because it's just really good. If I had just kept shooting him, I might have even killed him right there. Oh, I hope I don't die here. That would be sad.
Heat wave guy's ready to go.
Yeah, I think he dies. Here, I'll skip forward a little bit. I get a free melee, I think, off of them. Okay, but this is really what I want you to see. How quick the Sentinel Beam takes her out. And why I think this is the best weapon in the entire game, honestly. Especially for this achievement. Because ammo is usually what the issue is with this weapon. But because ammo is not an issue with the bandana skin, or skull, you don't have to worry about it. Bam. Do you see what I'm saying? And that is the hardest one. There's the achievement. Alright, but I'm actually going to scroll backwards real quick to when I get into that room with her. And we're going to flash and show pretty much how easy it actually is. Okay. So we skip forward. Just melting enemies. Using the sensors to see what doors they're at. Keeping my shields up. Okay, watch how quicker she goes down. Phase 1. Using the thruster. Using the thruster. And bam, she's down. Do you see what I mean? The Sentinel Beam is hands down the best weapon. And if I was to go back and replay my legendary playthrough, my normal one, I would have used this weapon probably through the majority of the game. Or I would have went and got the bandana skull, then came back through and used it. Like, I think the smartest thing to do would be to fly through the game on easy, getting all the collectibles, like the skulls, then come back through with the bandana skull on legendary. I'm trying to get my swords back here. Oh, I died too. But at least I got the checkpoint. We're just going to fast forward. Again, the ads are giving me a harder time than she is. I knew what she was going to do there, and I was a little nervous because these explosions do fuck you up. Alright. Alright, so this is my first weapon recommendation because it comes up right away. As soon as you're done with your first, I actually think, did I get a fob? It does look like I did get a fob, top right, actually, over here. So I did get one fob already. But either way, I would recommend doing this assassination because this is the first chance you get at something, one of the recommended weapons that I'm going to have, and it is a sword. And the reason I'm recommending the sword over the gravity hammer is there is a skull on that states that you can, it's called Black Eyes, and you have to get a melee to regenerate your shields, which can be really difficult sometimes, especially if you don't one-shot an enemy. But you're going to watch, and I'm going to have a lot of clips to back this up, that the sword is actually really good at combating any of the larger enemies except for like maybe a hunter. A hunter, the gravity hammer was actually better because you could stagger them, but again, the sword overall is better, and you're going to see that because in the end, I actually used the gravity hammer for a little bit because I get Eshrum's gravity hammer, and I thought it would be better, and I should have actually kept the red sword that you get from the Spartan Assassin Elite, and I'll show you that. But this sword actually gets me through a good portion of the campaign on this achievement, and I do. So the first of the weapons that I recommend is the sword, and we'll get to the second weapon. This next part is just to showcase, again, how good the sword and Sentinel Beam combo is. Watch how quick I kill these grunts. Melted. Melted. Alright, watch this. The shield one, melted. Alright, so the weapon is filthy. Sentinel Beam is filthy. It actually... Alright, so this was the second weapon that I recommended, which was the upgraded Sentinel's Beam. And I'm using tip 3 to get it, which is just avoid the enemies. It's one of the bosses. Tav Saburm. But yeah, that's it. Just completely avoiding any bullshit that I possibly can. I'm trying to find a map angle of this so I can show you where he is. And yeah, bad checkpoint here too because it resets me so far back. You know what? Does it? There we go. It's pretty early on too. So right there is where it is. I figure I'll show this because I'll have a list of weapons that I thought were pretty good. Why not? And so I tried a lot of things out to see what worked and what didn't. And I'll be honest with you, the sniper rifle was pretty good actually. So my top weapons ended up being the energy sword and the Sentinel Beam, and you're going to see later why, because the Sentinel Beam is just broken. It really is. It's broken for a game mode like this. You can track it because you can see where you're shooting it. It's a lot easier to deal with, and it kills the enemies really fast, and the bosses gets melted. Right? And you'll see that when I fight the 2 brute mission. Oh, that's so good. But arguably, until I got to the point where I got the upgraded Sentinel Beam, or any Sentinel Beam for that matter, the sniper was really good, and compared to the rocket, I actually like the sniper better because it gives you the ability to stay pretty far back and not have to be right in the fight. And you're going to see right here how good the sniper actually can be. Not that it doesn't have its own difficulties. But yeah, so if I was going to make a tier list, I would throw the sniper pretty high up there. Again, my top 2 weapon recommendations would be the Sentinel Beam and the energy sword. Sentinel Beam for killing the ranged units easily, and the sword for the free melee and being able to fight most close combat situations easily to get the free shield recovery. But the sniper was pretty good for killing enemies from a distance and then going into the fight after once a lot of them are already dead. And you'll see that right here. I think it's 2 shots for the grunt, and it would have been 2 shots for him right there, but I missed. And that's the only thing that sucks is you do miss a lot of shots. Like I missed that one. Missed that one. So missing will hurt you, but once you kind of get the hang of it, I started getting a little better with it. And I actually used this for a while. I really did. But look at, they're not even able to shoot me, you know, so it's really good. I die here a lot too, so. But like, so take this guy. Look at that, 4 shots. These guys are hard to kill. these big brute chieftains, okay? But the sniper rifle, no problem. You know what I mean? So that's not a tech. All right, so we're going to try to do another recap because we keep fucking it up. But yeah, so tip 1, spam grenades, spam everything. Tip 2, make sure you know where your last checkpoint was and make sure it's a good checkpoint. Make sure you're constantly getting checkpoints before you go into anything else major or else you get set back pretty far. Tip 3, skip enemies where you can skip enemies. Tip 4, use shock grenades, right? Use shock grenades to get a free melee off when you can and when you have to. Tip 5 is spam your util, like thrusters, shield walls, grapple, because it's infinite. Tip 6 was be prepared, so make sure that you get all those Spartan cores and have the upgrades that you're going to need before you even get your stuff. And make sure you get the weapons that you're going to need beforehand too. Tip 7 is be patient, because the more patient you are at some of these harder situations, the easier it actually is, and it's better to do it the right way than have to keep redoing it. It's better to take 10 minutes to kill an enemy than to take 30 minutes having to re-kill the enemies. Tip 7, that was tip 7 actually, be patient. Tip 8 was use elevation to your advantage against the AIs. So a lot of the AIs can't register, especially the brute chieftains with the hammers, have a hard time going from up and down situations. Same with the hunters. So use that to your advantage, you know, continuously jump up and down. Tip 9 was use the infinite thruster invis to just skip through a good portion of the campaign if you need to. And it works really well. And tip 10 was in correlation with that, which was make sure that you know if you have dot damage applied to you, shock damage applied to you, or if you're really low on shields, because your camo won't actually work and it can lead to false confidence. To add to this overall overview, the top 2 weapons that I recommended were the upgraded sentry and the upgraded sword until you get the banished sword, and then I would use the banished red sword until the end of the game. And I don't recommend using a gravity hammer at all, because it's just not good. It's too slow. It's very powerful, but it's too slow. Even Eshram's hammer, it's just too slow. And the grenades that I would recommend using the most are the shock grenades. I actually spammed those, I think, more than any other grenade in the game. But a close second would be the spiker grenades, because the spiker grenades are really good against bosses and hunters. And I actually recommend using, in combination with your thruster, the spiker grenades a lot against the bigger enemies like the brute chieftains and stuff. But that's it. That's my tips and tricks guide to help you get through the Headmaster achievement. I don't think it's too difficult if you use a lot of these tips and tricks. So good luck. And hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed it or if it helped you. And if you have any other tips or tricks that you want to add to it, leave it in the comments down below. But more importantly than all of that, if you guys have weapons that you think were better than the Sentinel Beam and the sword, feel free to argue for your case, because I would love to see it. I'd love to see clips of why you think that. And repetitive clips. You saw repetitive clips there of the Sentinel Beam being absolutely filthy. I took out 3 or 4 different bosses with it rapidly. I took out 3 or 4 enemies that are hard to take out with it rapidly. And the sword is an obvious one. I think anybody that argues for a hammer over the sword isn't going to have a lot of evidence, because the sword's just better. And the melee weapon just helps to get that, another tip and trick. The melee weapon helps to get the black eye melee your shield regeneration concept. So good luck to everybody.